Um, how has it been from the 2014 until now? Why you think it's important for you to at least bring this out into the public?
All right, in 2014, as I indicated to you earlier, the St. Martin Academy decided to offer, they were toying around with other external exam, post-secondary external exams like the IB program, or what is suitable for their students. And so based on the fact that they have a large migrant student population from places like Jamaica, you have students from Guyana, St. Martin, Dominica, and other places, they decided to offer what is the same thing being done in the English speaking Caribbean and to offer the CARE program. Because let's say, for instance, a child from Jamaica comes to the St. Martin Academy, finishes fifth form, and wants to continue. If the child returns to Jamaica, obviously the child will be entering the sixth form CARE program if that's what the child desired to do. And so they did not want to offer a program that will not prepare students who may, for some reason or the other, return to their home country. So they decided to offer an exam that is Caribbean based,
Okay.
the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam.
All right. Does this cost anything extra for the interested person who would want to go into care?
Pardon?
Would this cost some money for a student who want to take the program?
Actually, the registration fee, the school fee is 1,000 US dollars or 1,800 guilders per year.
Okay.
Books are provided free of cost. Students are even given the opportunity to interact with persons in the community. We have trips planned where students will usually do fundraisers, but the cost is 1,000 US per year, school year, 1,800 guilders.
Oh. All right. So this is a cost per year
Yes.
for this. All right. So children of what age should be showing interest in this, or they have to have a desire of wanting to continue their education after secondary?
Okay, what we have been toying with the ideas because quite recently there is someone who was 27 years of age who came to find out if he can attend the program. But what we're thinking is that students up to 21 years of age can apply for the program because CXC gives us the opportunity to offer it in 2 years or up to 5 years. So students leaving high school, fifth form, can apply. Most of them are within 17, some 16 to 18, and they can go up to 21 or 22.
Oh, so that's how the age bracket
Yes,
works.
that's it. Yes.
All right. Applying for the program, what are the procedures?
All right, what a student must do is uplift an application form from the Cape office or the main office at the St. Martin Academy. Currently, we are sharing space with our sister campus, the PSVE. So we are operating from 12:30 hours. So anyone interested can come for guidance to select a program of their choice, as well as uplift the application form and submit the relevant documents based that's outlined on the application form. There's a non-refundable fee of 30 US dollars that is for processing the application.
30 US dollars
Yes.
for processing the application.
Yes.
And if you decide to pull out, you're not going to get that back.
No.
Okay. All right. So it's a 2-year program, and over the 2 years, the subject matters that will be dealt with. Can you explain to us what they are?
All right. For all students, there are 3 compulsory courses offered by CXC. In year 1, students will take communication studies and integrated mathematics. Year 2, they must take Caribbean studies. Now, depending on what program they have selected, they have 5 other courses to complete. In addition to 8 courses for the 2 year for the students to be awarded an associate degree in the program of their choice.
So you have 5 basic
Courses, yes, and
courses,
3 compulsory courses.
and communication is not one of them, or that you're going to be an
Communication
additional.
studies is a compulsory course. It's done in year 1.
All right. So with this program put together for 2 years, you are saying that at the end of it, they'll be able to get what you call an associate degree. Now, an
Yes.
associate degree, for many, is often connected to like maybe a university standard. Is that what it is?
Actually, it's a first step, it's like pre-college.
Okay.
So based on your credits obtained and the grades and the passes that you obtain as well, some students can be given extra credit at university level. For instance, if you pass with grades 1 and 2, there are some universities that will award you credit hours based on your passes. For example, within the University of the West Indies, as long as students pass with straight A's profile, it's likely that they can be given a 1-year exemption, or part of their course, they are exempted from those courses. So we encourage students not only to come to the program and pass with the lower grades, but aim to achieve the highest pass possible, because there are benefits after all.
Now, what if you want to go on to, let's say, a university?
Yes.
Yeah, let's say a University of the West Indies.
Yes.
What would qualify that person based on grades
Okay.
at the CAPE program?
Based on your grades, again, if you pass with grades 1, straight A's, you sometimes will be given exemption depending on the program of your choice at the university. You also will be given extra credit hours. So some of the courses, your mandatory courses, may be reduced because you have attained already straight A passes in the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency exam.
Okay. What are the amount of people that are showing interest? What are the amount of registrars that you have? What is it like for, let's say, the coming year?
For the coming year, so far we have a little over 20 students who have indicated interest, which is normal for a program that's very new. In the first year, it was about the same thing. Last year, we would have had 17 students. Out of that 17, 3 students were opted or dropped out of the program because of personal reasons.
Yeah.
And so we have, about 17 students continuing in our year 1.
What are your goal in terms of the amount of people that you'd like to see show interest in this? Because I'm sure that your enrollment at St. Martin Academy is a quite big one.
Yes.
Based on the amount of students that I see around, I do know you have quite a lot. So for a new program, even though it's new, I would expect that there would be more people within that populace who really want to go on and study further, or they are of the same mind that most people seem to have, and that is, if they're not leaving to go away and study, they don't think that they are doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know if I'm prejudging the idea here, but I know there are a lot of people on St. Martin who have that concept in mind. Well,
Yes.
I'm saying a lot of things, but what I really want to say is, from the amount of people that goes to St. Martin Academy, and then you're only having, let's say, 20, do you have an amount that you'd like to see become a part of the SCAPE program?
For us, 30 can work, because it's as I said, it's the only school offering the CAPE program right now. And because it's a small island, 30 is not impossible, or we should say is not too a large or small number. Other places like Jamaica, you may find you will have about 60-something students in year 1. So for us, it's quite a good number for starters.
But you actually going out and sharing the SCAPE program is going to generate a lot of interest.
Yes,
And,
that is what we are hoping for.
so that means you have a ballpark figure that you don't want to do more than 20, do you?
Well, yes, to some extent, but even if we have more than 20, remember at the end of the day, we want students to be committed as well. It's not just coming to the program to fill a gap, but you're committed to pre-university level. And so you have to be motivated, you have to be diligent, you have to be serious, because it's not just coming to fill space or to enlarge our numbers. At the end of the day, we want to have students who will excel.
All right. Let me just break down for our listeners this CAPE program, and for some reason I think the P is getting squeezed out of the CAPE, and to some degree it sounds like you're hearing care, but it's CAPE, CAPE, which is Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, and that is being offered at St. Martin Academy. You're the only one here that is doing that?
Yes, the St. Martin Academy is currently the only school offering a full-time CAPE program. Also, what we have been toying with the idea, because I'm certain there are adults, young adults, in the community who would probably haven't been able to gone off to college for various reasons and maybe want to improve their qualifications as well.
Okay.
We're toying with the idea of offering an adult program in the evenings. Maybe within the next 2 years, because currently we are on a shift system. We finish at 6:30 every day except for Friday. And so if we are going to offer that program, it has to be when we're back in our own space. All right, but it's something that we're thinking of, and I'm quite certain there will be persons out there who will be willing to attend the program. And we are trying to even introduce some new subjects as well, keeping in mind what the needs of St. Martin is at this time as well.
Is this something that begins like a normal school time, or did hear you mention that you were experimenting with the idea of doing an adult program, which would be something that can be done in a few hours at evening time.
Yes.
But what are the time spent for someone who attending the CAPE program? Do they have to come out to school at 7:30 like the rest of the people?
Well, if they have classes start at 7:30, the first period, they have to, but it's more flexible. We consider the CAPE students to be our senior students. We
Okay.
want to give them the experience as attending university, so they usually come when they have a class.
I see.
Yes, but we're not
So
gonna,
the beginning of a class on a given day for a student can be 10 o'clock.
yes,
I
yes,
see. Okay.
yes. But yet again, we're encouraging students not to turn up 9:59 or getting ready, because remember, we want you to be at least 15 minutes before your class start.
Yeah.
Settle in, do some reading so that you can participate actively in whatever discussion is being held.
Maybe a better question would be how much hours a day then is applied to this CAPE program?
Okay, because students are usually, they have 4 courses to complete in a given year. Some students may do 5, some may opt for 3, based on their
Subject
entry
matter.
yes.
Yeah.
And so you find that in a given day, a student may have 2 subjects or 3 subjects. All right, and right now we had to reduce those hours allotted per subject because we are sharing space and we're operating from 12:30. But on a given day, a student may not have more than 3 or 4 courses per day.
Would St. Martin Academy entertain the idea of accepting someone who wants to register from, let's say, the Dutch system?
Well, we do have someone coming, yes. We do have someone who will be completing the HAVO examination. And I was told, because I'm new to St. Martin, I was only appointed in August, and hearing about HAVO, I found out that it's also to the same level like CXC.
Okay.
So it's possible, there may be some challenges, yes, with that student coming from Dutch, but the child is also proficient in English.
Well,
As-
most people seem to handle both language fairly well.
Yes,
So
yes.
I was just inquiring on behalf of those who might be thinking, well, my daughter have just completed HAVO or maybe MAVO at
Okay.
MPC,
Okay.
and they would want to show some interest
Indicate.
in this pre-university program, because that's basically what it is, right?
Yes, it is.
And wanting to know if such a person would be considered.
Likely, yes, providing that they have met the requirements, again, as I stated.
Would they be
Yes, we will
a
consider.
test or something? What would it be then?
Okay, based on their results, I was told that for HAVO it's 1 to 10. And so the grading system for the HAVO, I'm not sure about the MAVO. So what we'll do is probably we ask for a transcript because we want to look at the grades, especially
Correct.
for the courses that the students will take in their degree program. And so we look at those grades, and if needs be, we probably will administer a proficiency exam to see their level of readiness.
Okay. And that would be one of the criteria, and if passed, they would be considered to be part of the CAPE program.
Well, likely, yes. Yes.
All right, I'm here with Ms. Velda Blackett, who is the CAPE, that is the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination Coordinator, and it is connected to the St. Martin Academy. She's given some more information on the program and how you can get your children enrolled in this program and be a part of it. All right, we'll take a break at this point. It's about halfway through. When we come back, we'll continue to speak with her and probably open the lines for those who might have questions as well in regards to this CAPE program at the St. Martin Academy. We'll take a break and come back. And welcome back to Viewpoint for today. Wendell Moore here with Velda Blackett, Miss Velda Blackett, who is the CAPE coordinator at St. Martin Academy, talking about the program and how you can learn more about it and probably make use of the services that is offered by this program to help your children or child get ready for university. We began talking about the program and some details surrounding how one can get involved and how it, provide the information, I believe, for these students. But let's talk a little bit about the courses that is offered, because one of the interests that students usually have, if they want to go in one area, a particular area, they would like to know that if you want to be, let's say you want to be a chemist or you want to be a doctor or something of that nature, you need to know what are some of the subject matters that you have to deal with. So what are the courses that has been offered
All right.
in this program?
Currently, the courses being offered by the St. Martin Academy, it's the Associate in Natural Sciences for students who are interested in the sciences, chemistry, physics, and biology. Students are given the opportunity to choose two of those courses to be their main courses in addition to the compulsory courses. And they can also choose an elective. What I've done within the past year, since the few months in fact, since I've been appointed, is advise students who are doing the science program to also take all three of the sciences. Remember, they only have to do one elective, which is one course in either chemistry, biology, or physics, providing that they are doing two already as their core courses. Because we would have had a situation where a student from last year was declined first entry into a university in England because she did not complete 6 courses in the sciences, and so she only had 5. But upon intervention from the school, the university was informed that students are only required to study 2. And they can choose one as an elective, not the 6 courses. So I'm telling students now to take all 6 courses. It will be an extra course at the end of the 2 year. But in the interest of their own interest is that they'll be better prepared for whatever, whichever university. It will minimize some of the, problems that they may encounter. We are also offering an associate and science degree in information communication and technology. That's courses for students who are interested in the computer and technology. That is a course that they can choose as well. We are also offering the Associate of Arts in Humanities, Tourism Studies, and we have the Associate of Business Studies, Entrepreneurship and Accounts. We are likely to introduce an Associate of Business Studies in Economics for students who are, willing to continue with economics, because they were only doing accounts and entrepreneurship in the business field.
So those are some of the courses that you offer?
Yes, those are the courses.
All right, so for more information, if in fact someone is not clear on what are some of the courses offered, and based on consultation with their children would like more information, how can they reach you?
Okay, they can reach me at the telephone number
548. You gave me those numbers,
Yes.
but you don't seem to have them before.
No, I don't have it written
All right.
here. So
All right,
I'll-
to get in touch with Velda, one of the ways you can do so is 548 4821. We'll give you those numbers again, because I know and I've been told repeatedly that there are times when we give numbers and we go through them so quickly that people never did get the opportunity to write them down. So we'll go over those numbers once again. Or if you prefer to send her an email, you can do so by sending it to v.blackett. Blackett is spelled Blacket.
Two T's.
2 T's, correct. Well, the Blackett at stmartinacademy.com. v.blackett with 2 T's at stmartinacademy.com. and before on our way leaving, we will share this with you again. So maybe you want to keep a pen close by just in case. So this program is primarily for students completing your secondary education. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And have interest in wanting to continue.
Yes.
And even here on St. Martin, this CAPE program provides several different courses that I'm sure your children can take advantage of, and that would get them ready for university.
Yes.
Am I summarizing this correctly?
Yes,
All
yes. You're doing a great job.
All right. And having completed these courses, and by the way, some of them, I believe, basically they are 2 years for now, right?
Yes, it is 2 years. We have not had any students complete the 8 courses in a year. Maybe there's consideration because there are other Caribbean countries that are allowing students to do that, to complete. But again, we have to look at the maturity level of the student, how well that student is academically, because we don't want to burden you. It's a very tough course. Not tough that you cannot excel, but remember, it's pre-university. And so sometimes students have not really made a transition to enter university full. So they come to the CAPE program to be ready. Yes.
And you look for a certain amount of commitment from these students
Yes,
as well?
of course, yes.
How do you describe for those people who would be showing interest in terms of what you expect?
All right. The first thing that we let students know, well, all the other teachers within the CAPE program, the CAPE division, they let you know that it's not a note-taking course, because remember, it's pre-university. So if they were accustomed to being dictated notes in the year 5, coming to the CAPE program is where you have to do more reading. You have to do more analysis, all right, to show your understanding. It's more higher order. We don't want to scare anyone, because at the end of the day, remember, you're going off to university, and this is exactly what you'll have to do. There are essays to be written, maybe 1,500 words, 2,000 words, and so you have to be prepared. You have to have good writing skills. Even if you don't, I usually advise students to get hold of a thesaurus, get hold of a dictionary as well, to assist you in being ready to, write your essays and to do a lot of reading. There are certain websites that I also encourage students to use to be fully prepared for the program.
So one of the requirements then in terms of being able to do or to handle well what you've just explained is usually, and I'm taking way back to university level, where they'll give you 3 chapters in a particular book that you have to read, and then you summarize in terms of presenting it in an essay form.
Yes.
And that, of course, you're saying requires a type of commitment that only unless you are willing to do it,
Yes.
you would be able to become successful.
Well, yes. I mean, the student, they must have the drive as well. It's not only
Yeah.
the student, but the parents must play their role, ensuring that they're there. They will sometimes have sleepless nights because there are deadlines to be met. And so we want to ensure that students are fully prepared in every aspect. Sometimes we'll have lecture series, we'll have presentations where students are given an opportunity to present on a topic. Their peers will give them questions. They should be able to answer those questions as well in an interactive session.
Okay, so this is really not a classroom session, a normal classroom session in a secondary school.
Yes and no. It's normal to some extent, but it is more pre-university. It's not
More
you just
responsibility on
Yes,
the part of the student.
Yes. You have to be very, very responsible as a student. It's not just coming and, some students, I don't even want to say fool around, but, you're not coming to waste time, your time, nor the teacher's time. You must be fully committed.
Do you get some of that or how do you work on, well, maybe you're not part of that, but the transition between ending high school, going into these type of programs, or even straight into university? Because we do have a lot of people who, not university then, but leave and go straight to high school.
To high school or college?
Or college.
Yes.
So how do you mentally prepare them for something like this? especially if their grades are good, which means that,
They're exceptional.
yeah, and they may, to a great extent, focus on what they want already, because some people from very early knows exactly what they're after, but that transition sometimes lead to, not when you're not well prepared, why some people eventually drop out. So how do you tell students to prepare themselves for this?
The funny thing is, as is Caribbean studies students, a lot of students cannot define the word Caribbean or define the Caribbean region.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
know.
hear people are, saying that this place is not a part of the Caribbean, that place is not a part of the Caribbean. But there are different ways, at least 5 different ways that Caribbean region can be defined.
Yes.
And so, based on that, students, sometimes you have lots of arguments that can go on and on and on because, oh, Guyana is not part of the Caribbean region. Why isn't Guyana part of the Caribbean region? Sometimes you hear students, they may be told that some Central American countries are also part of the Caribbean region. But teacher, no, they're not part of the Caribbean region.
Yeah.
And so we ask students, to read up a little bit more to get to understand why all these countries can be considered part of the Caribbean region.
Even part of Florida, isn't that?
Yes, well, technically it is not. It shares similar characteristics
Yes.
with the Caribbean region, and so you find that it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just Caribbean. We look at things like natural disaster, which is something major in our region. We look at the coral reefs. Those are some of the topics that we do. We look at globalization. We looked at regional integration. And also we looked at things like the influence of the family on society, the influence of social institutions like the justice system, how they influence our decision making. And so these are some of the topics that we cover in Caribbean studies.
All right. I just think that everyone who lives in the Caribbean should have an idea
Yes.
of, but at least be able to define what is the Caribbean.
Yes, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I know. I really do know, because I was one of those who really had little interest in geography until I
Okay.
began traveling. I
Yes.
think there is nothing better than knowing exactly where you are in what
Yes.
part of the world
Exactly,
when
yes.
you know a little bit about geography. And now we're just talking about Caribbean. Caribbean people don't even know where to find Guadeloupe,
Yes, so
you know,
true.
or
Yes.
even Antigua,
Yes.
as the case would be, or who is next to who.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing that with us. For folks, I know I did ask you to get a pen and paper to take the number down. For those of you who are interested, let me give you the number now. The number to reach Valda is 548-4821. Again, 548-4821. And if you prefer to send her an email, you can do so by sending it to v.blackett, BLACKETT, at stmartinacademy.com. For those of you who didn't get that, let me go over it again. The numbers to call to find Miss Blackett is 548-4821. And the email address is v.blackett at stmartinacademy.com. So get some more information and inquire as to what are the possibilities. Enrolling your child or children, is there a special fee for those people who might have 2 children that want to take this course, or the fee just there?
Well, it's a possibility that we can look into. But right now, the fee stands at $1,000 or 1,800 guilders per year. Remember, all textbooks are provided free of cost to students.
Okay.
Yes.
How would you accept this payment? How would this payment be made? Do you have to make a deposit, or you just commit yourself to paying the money? How it works? Is there a procedure?
Actually, some parents have opted to pay in full, or you can pay in 2 parts. You can pay upon registration in August when CXC results are out, and you bring in those results so that we can verify your passes. And you can pay half of it then, and then you have until the 1st of December in the same year to complete your payment. So if you want to do it on a monthly basis, that can be done as well.
Okay.
We know with what happened last year, some students were given, a little longer period because of the devastation of Hurricane Irma. And so we have relaxed that system a bit. But all students should complete payment by the end of the school year, that academic school year, which is the first week in July.
All right. Is there a specific time or deadline for enrolling your kids?
All right, so our application period opened 12th of March. It should have ended tomorrow, but we're extending it for one more week. So the 18th of April is the deadline for students to bring in their application forms. And we also will have a late application. You know, sometimes students are undecided, or they might say, you know, I don't want to go to Cape, so I'm not applying. But then when the results come out and they do better than they expected, and then all of a sudden they want to apply. So we facilitate those students. We do not turn them away. So we usually have a late application period in August when the CXC results are released.
Okay.
Where we're asking students to apply now so that we have an idea of interest in the different programs, and so we can be able to say, yes, okay, we can introduce this subject, we can introduce that subject.
Okay. All right. Did we cover everything? You hope?
Yes, I hope so.
I think what is most important for those of you listening is to be able to have some sort of contact, to be able to get to Velda and get more information. She just mentioned that application forms, at least is an extension. It should have been in already
Yes.
for this year. So you have until later on in the month of
18th of
April,
April.
18th of April,
Yes.
to get these registration in. And it's important for you, for her to, for the school to know exactly what interests these students have, so that they can know how to prepare themselves. 548-4821. The number is 548-4821 for Miss Velda Blackett, or you can send an email to v.blackett@stmartinacademy.com. I hope I was able to serve the purpose for which you're here, ma'am.
Yes, I think you did a wonderful job, and I must commend you, and thank you very much for hosting me in this informative session. I'm certain that some persons out there may now have an avid interest in the CAPE program being offered at the St. Martin Academy. You can drop in to, find out anything that you need to know, to be guided as well on selection of any of our degree programs. You are invited to come between the hours of 12:30 to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday at the PSV campus. Remember, we are sharing space with our sister school because our school is currently under reconstruction.